Don't be scared. Okay. Okay, here it is, another Cascade Trekker trip. We're gonna climb White Mountain. I'm thinking tomorrow, maybe the next day really early. And it's really interesting to find is this water here. This is a man-made water catch here on the side of this slope, and an old road used to go across the side here. There's another road, much newer. It's on the other side of this valley wall, and there's a gate, oh, maybe half a mile from here, and that's where I'm parked with my motorcycle. I'm thinking that if I stay at this elevation and kind of wind my way around, I'll find some more springs. There's another one down here, more of a natural catch. It's great up here in this high country, nice and cool. It's probably going to get cold tonight. I'm not really prepared for a cold night. Temperatures in Bishop are over 100 degrees. Now this here is very green. There might be water down there, but I kind of doubt it. I guess we'll just go down and go up the green patch. It's great news. Right down in this draw, there's water draining. I can hear it. Right there. All I need right there. Man, it's tempting to set a camp here. I just think I could go a little farther. Well, this is perfect. I've got like soft grass patches, flat patches to pitch a tent, and this amazing water supply. Pretty darn clean too. Here's our next vista. Just fabulous up here. I'm gonna have to find a water source soon for camp. Last night at 8 o'clock, these mountains were just full of roiling clouds, like there was just a massive storm on this side, and it looks like it's building this way, and just slowly. I'm hoping just over this next rise I'll be able to find more water. Thinking this is the last best opportunity for water. This is sludge, but I can see it's clear if you can get it. There's another standing pool over here, and we're going to set up camp somewhere in this grassy area. Man, this is great. It's this grassy shelf, nice and flat, and there's running water in this meadow. I think it's McAfee meadow. I'll have to double check, but it's like the water is almost running underground. You can't even see it, but if you get right up to it, then you can see it. I'm quite happy about this. I'm pretty close to the mountain, White Mountain, give or take like 4 or 5 miles more, and covered quite a bit. I'm all the way around the research station. I just sort of edged around at that elevation and connected these springs. So, pretty tired. We're just gonna have dinner here and fall asleep and probably get cold. I have a really dinky sleeping bag. It's the Big 5 Special, $19.99, and that thing barely keeps me warm in my apartment sometimes. It's a real nice morning up here. This is very near White Mountain, in the White Mountains, Inyo County, California. There are rodents all in this grassy area, and you can see they make these paths. Here's one right here. And when their enemies are near, they squeak, almost like a bird. And they were squeaking at me last night, and they were squeaking this morning, so I couldn't tell if they were squeaking at me or not. And then I saw 2 coyotes way on the other side that when they saw me, they took off running. All the squeaking stopped. There's a great water supply over here. We're going to get some filtered water, pack up real soon, nearly 8 o'clock, and start hiking towards the mountain. And it's going to be kind of a race to beat the building storm clouds. That's the last place I want to be with a thunderstorm. It was quite chilly last night. I did manage to sleep for 2 good stretches, and you know, the sun woke me up this morning, but I felt like I could sleep longer. Yeah, that was just tossing to try to keep my hips warm. I used the backpack. I was trying to keep that on top of my hips, and it kept sliding. I don't know if it did any good or not. My upper body was warm. I had these 2 layers and my frog tog jacket. These are great for sleeping in. The heat goes through the jacket to the sleeping bag, and it kind of just keeps it going. But the legs and mostly the hips were cold. That was it. Well, I am near the top. Maybe another hour to get up there, and there are a whole lot of sheep up here. It's hard to believe. very near the top. And here's my salvation. If it works, there's a drain right here. And I made a larger pool for it to collect. I'm just hoping it clears out by the time I get back. There's definitely water draining here. It's just like kind of buried in the rocks. I might try another pool up higher right by the snow just to have a backup. This is kind of just filling with sediment. Here's the top. And I am completely exhausted. 14,200 feet. It will be the highest that I've climbed. And just as I got up here, the clouds covering the sun. Right now, they're starting to build. Which kind of sucks. The building here. I mean, if in an hour and a half to 2 hours, this could be a thunderstorm cell. And I won't quite be where I want to be. It's another kind of a bummer, which I almost expected it would be this way, is just really hazy for any long distance views. It's pretty gnarly right here. I made it. So if I'm lucky, I'll get 3.5 liters from that snow melt. I'll have plenty enough to hike the 7.5 miles back and have water for camping. Getting back to that spring and the other spring, that's going to be a challenge. That's pretty far, and I'm really tired. And start to make mistakes like that, and on this talus it's real gnarly. I'm just hoping to get down into this plain. That's where the road and the trail cuts across. If I make it there by the time something happens, I'll be all right. Okay, this is where I stashed my camp gear. And if anything, the ants are getting into it. But I didn't have to carry it up and back. Oh. And now, these clouds over the eastern Sierras are just magnanimous. I can't say I've seen them ever build so big and gnarly. It's kind of like it fountains up and then it gets this weird diagonal like mushroom head, and that mushroom head just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now right here we're gonna get the same thing. These clouds are gray on the bottom. They're starting to bubble up on top. And I really want to bail out of here, but I've got like 4 or 5 miles yet. What's interesting though is that where the motorcycle is, I don't see the clouds building. So I might make it through this flat plain area. I've got a blister now that I have to attend to, or it's just going to get worse and it's going to make the whole thing worse. But kind of why I want to bail, because I don't know what's going to happen tonight and tomorrow as far as rainfall. And I have to ride that motorcycle home, and my route takes me down a pretty gnarly canyon. The only other way is probably like a 50-mile, 60-mile detour through Big Pine. I'm going to get this blister fixed, pack the gear, and start hiking. Well, back here at the gated road with the motorcycle, and my blister feels like a piece of salami. Thing is, with this weather like this, you never know what to expect, so I'm gonna bail out. I need to get down that canyon, and if it's flooded, it'll be a nasty, nasty mess. So that's the end of the trip. Probably hiked 15 miles, maybe 13 today. 14,000 feet up. Probably maybe 4,000 feet up, maybe a little less. It was a good workout, I feel it.